which is what you're doing. So you're still justifying your behavior because that's just who you are. Because you and person A don't realize that every time you attempt to do something outside of who you believe you are, you subconsciously feel out of place doing it because it doesn't match with how you see yourself. When you've never learned how to claim a new habit or behavior as something you do instead of just something to do, indirectly you're training your brain to stay loyal to who you've always been because you're still treating the behavior like it's not you. So when those thoughts come up, I probably look weird doing this. I feel out of place. This isn't me. You're processing that misalignment of identity mentally and physically at the same time. And then what happens is once your body starts registering that internal conflict, your nervous system picks up on it and immediately rejects the new behavior to regulate you. This happens so fast without even realizing. And by the end of this loop, you're doing whatever you can just to feel like you again. You replace doing the new behavior with the closest familiar old habit that feels like something you do. But what you're actually doing is keeping your past self alive, who's stuck in their ways and doesn't act outside of what's comfortable for them. This is the root cause of your inconsistency. When you act only when you feel comfortable to do so, that's not going to be many times in life. You have no internal structure to lean on that will help guide you through your process of adopting these new behaviors and routines that align with your goals. So what you start to do is you train your body to feel safe, acting in accordance to new beliefs. You never had a discipline problem. You just never learned how to handle the moment when your nervous system started influencing you to pull back into your old ways, to regulate you because you felt uncomfortable and uncertain, which are coded as unsafe to your nervous system. Person B chooses to show up and execute, to experience being who they've always wanted to be, not to prove themselves. Because person B knows the value, and acting like this version of themselves now is literally closing the gap between where they are now and where they're wanting to get to. With this knowing, they respond to their environment intentionally instead of behaving reactively, which allows them to maintain a neutral, calm, and controlled state within their body, even while stepping into discomfort, which is essential to successfully break old reactive thought and behavior patterns. And they're choosing to believe while taking uncomfortable action that they are someone who does this new thing now, because that is what their best self would do. Person B knows that even though it feels uncomfortable and foreign to them right now, this new habit or routine is something that is normal to their best self. So they might as well get used to it now. There's no point in fighting it. So they're able to let the uncomfortable feelings come, but they don't allow them to stay. This is their why. This is the true meaning behind what drives them to keep showing up and put themselves in uncomfortable situations. This is why showing up fuels person B but drains you. They enjoy being this version of themselves. They believe and feel that following through in this way is essential and normal for them. It's just what they do now, and it's what they're choosing to do, not feeling forced to do, which is what you're doing. So this is what you do to be like person B. First, you need to figure out the real reason behind why you want to stop smoking. Why do you want to start working out? Why do you want to make a lot of money? What does your best self do it for? Your best self is doing the things day in and day out to maintain their lifestyle that you say you want. You need to bridge that mental gap. Second step is to practice catching yourself and pausing in the moments when you start feeling uncomfortable and want to retreat back to your old habits. Remind yourself of your best self why, then continue the uncomfortable task or take on a smaller but still aligned action so that you can close the new belief loop that's forming. This is exactly what person B does. They are building a regulated relationship with acting while being uncomfortable. You don't fall off because you want to stay the same. I know you want to level up, but right now your brain has a pattern that is learned from your past, the past being your experiences, your thinking processes that were created from those experiences, the actions you've taken based on that thinking, and the seal of safety approval from your nervous system after you survived from using these methods. These deeply engraved neurological pathways in your brain of procrastinating, starting over, emotionally shutting down, is what is automatically telling your body that this is what we do to survive. You fall off the moment you feel insecure and uncertain because you've taught your body to believe that you have to do so in order to survive. You cannot change this unless you know how to interrupt the loop right before your nervous system goes into survival mode, pulls out your past bad habits and old ways of thinking to regulate you, like how it's always done to keep you safe and comfortable. This is exactly why I created the Nervous System Factory Reset, because it teaches you step by step how to interrupt this loop in real time time when you are under stress, regulate your nervous system, and make clear, goal aligned decisions in the exact moment you'd normally fall off. The only difference between you and person A versus person B is that person B has a reliable internal structure within themselves that allows them to respond to hard moments that come their way instead of emotionally reacting to them, which is the true secret to consistency. Because no matter how big or small the action is that person B takes, this structure allows them to stay in control of their emotions and their actions through whatever circumstances they're in. And once you have this reliable system, the things that used to comfort you and make you feel better start to feel like distractions. Like when you do them, you're choosing to stay where you are. And that's when everything changes. The link is in my bio if you're tired of feeling like you can't become the person you want to be.